How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. The crypto market's actually moving up a lot right now. I just looked and Bitcoin had kind of been hitting around 20,600 and now it's at 21,500. I want to talk about why that is. I want to give some updates with what's happening in crypto, with USDC, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and what's happening with Silicon Valley Bank. So if you don't mind hitting the subscribe button, I appreciate that. I've been posting 2 to 5 or 6 videos a day over the last 3 or 4 days because there's been so much happening. So if you want to get updated videos with updated news constantly and consistently, you can hit that subscribe button underneath the video. There's also a link to the Patreon. We've had a lot of people join recently. I did give a warning before USDC fell that I would personally take my money out of USDC, and I gave that there hours before I could make it on YouTube. So definitely check out that Patreon too if you want to know what I'm buying and selling now. The crypto market's looking pretty good, right? I say that knowing full well that we were at 25,000 a couple of weeks ago, but with everything that's happening, the crypto market is still staying resilient. When banks, every single bank in the market on Thursday was down 5%, at least, some down 60%. Bitcoin is still above 20,000. Now we touched down below it a few different times, but then USDC depegged because of having some money in Silicon Valley Bank, and some people seem to be moving their crypto, moving their stablecoin into Bitcoin. Now, USDC is closer to peg. It's at 96 cents or 95 cents now. It fluctuates a little bit, but Bitcoin's continuously moving up. Like I said earlier, we had kept on touching about 20,600, and now we're at 21,500. Now, of course, by the time you watch this, who knows, it could be right back down. But I think this is saying a couple different things. First of all, there are probably still people that are moving money now to Bitcoin, right? They see everything that's happening with stablecoins and they just want out of there. They realize that stablecoins are supposed to be stable, but aren't always. Even some of the best ones are a little bit sketchy. I've also heard that USDT, I don't want to spread FUD, but there may be some exposure to Silicon Valley Bank there. Now, they have a large market cap. They would have to have a lot of exposure to really have an issue, but I've heard as much as $1 billion just through the grapevine. That's what I've heard. I can't confirm that, but so we have some people that are probably still taking money out. Maybe over the last day they hadn't noticed that USDC depegged or something like that, or they realize that Bitcoin, well, Bitcoin's price might fluctuate in US dollars. One Bitcoin is one Bitcoin, and that's why you buy Bitcoin, to hold Bitcoin, not so that you can have an equivalent to the US dollar. The other thing is, too, we're seeing the whole crypto market move up. It might just be because there are talks now of SVB possibly being bailed out, whether it's from the government. There's some talks about that, them stepping in. There's this emergency meeting by the Fed happening tomorrow, which I reported on yesterday. And there's talks whether they'll cover 95% of deposits that aren't fully covered by FDIC. Some people are saying 50% will be given out this week to help people payrolls, and now some people are saying 100%. Some people are saying that there are banks that are now in talks of stepping in and helping out Silicon Valley, or being able to buy them out, stuff like that. Elon Musk has talked about possibly buying them out. So there are a lot of options, it sounds like, right now to bail out this industry or to buy out the bank. So that might be causing some people to feel a little bit more confident. I wouldn't be surprised if we still saw some red in the market, especially with CPI. Like Monday might be a little bit bloody between the fallout from this and then also from CPI coming on Tuesday. Usually the markets sell off a little bit the day before, and people are fearful in general right now. Now, there is some talk about the Fed pivoting. I don't know if that's likely to happen because they are in a tough situation where inflation's still high, but now banks are failing. So I think this week is going to be a really fun week to watch. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be a crazy week to be in the market. And there is a lot happening over the next week and a few days. So pay attention. Be watching videos. Be on Twitter if you can. Don't stress yourself out, but pay attention. And I think we have to remember too, all this has really shown why Bitcoin was created in the first place. Sometimes we forget, sometimes we just put money in because we want it to be worth more US dollars a couple months from now or years from now, but it reminds us that we are buying an asset that's supposed to have some kind of use case, right? And the use case is that it is not held by a third party. It's something that we can actually hold ourselves and feel confident in the ability to get that money out at some point, or that currency out. And we don't have to trust anyone. We can give it directly to someone else, and we're the only ones that have access to it. So I think that's important to remember. There have been some Silicon Valley entrepreneurs like Tim Draper is a large investor. He's saying that he's been on these investors and company owners in Silicon Valley for a while to hold some Bitcoin, because Bitcoin solves this, right? If you're really worried, because some of these people will get their money back, but we don't know how fast, right? If you're worried about meeting payroll, which is only a small percentage probably each couple weeks of your overall cash, right? Hold 5% in Bitcoin to give you that extra liquidity. So maybe that's also what's happening. Some people got their money out. They are trying to set up something else just in case other banks start falling, and maybe that's bidding up Bitcoin's price, and other cryptocurrencies are just kind of following. Now, there are some liquidations that are happening on the short side. I figured that might be what's happening, because over the last half an hour, we've moved up almost $1,000 on Bitcoin. There are some liquidations, maybe about $30 million, I think it was, but it's not super significant. So I don't think that's really contributing to everything that's happening and contributing to the price. Maybe, maybe it's jumping a little bit and people are just being a little bit careful, but we'll have to see how CPI goes. I think the CPI and then the fallout from SVB Bank are really what you have to pay attention to this week, because that will really drive the markets. And like I said, it's going to be an insane week moving forward. I'd be on your toes. Thank you for watching. I'm going to keep this under 8 minutes so you don't get mid-roll ads. There's too much to pay attention to these days to get mid-roll ads. There is a video that I will tell you should watch. I just posted it talking about how much Ethereum you really have to hold, depending on different prices of Ethereum in a few years to retire. So if you want to see that video, I'll put it on the end screen. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.